What's up, barbecue fans? Welcome back to Patio. My name's Jake. You're watching Rum and Cook. Today on the channel, we're breaking in the new pizza oven. Now, if you watched recently, you would have saw that I did an unboxing video and I threw pizza in there just to give it a shot real quick. However, today's the first cook. I have not touched it since then, and you would think the first cook would be pizza, but you'd be wrong. First cook we're gonna do on this guy is some chicken wings. So I wanna give these a shot. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this Smoke on Wheels barbecue marinade. A few different things, olive oil, got some soy in it, garlic, of course, which I love, some lemon juice concentrate, onion, salt, spices. It's a mix. Think of it like a savory marinade. I think it's gonna go well on our wings here. Now, just if you're curious, I'm gonna mix in some pizza oven videos. They're not gonna replace the Tuesday videos. Once in a while, there'll be a Tuesday video that'll be the pizza oven, but there's a lot of things I wanna do with it. So what I'm gonna try and do is I'm gonna just randomly mix them in. So if you're not subscribed yet, do so below and hit that notification bell so you know when they come out. First off, if I was planning ahead, which I often don't, I typically wake up in the morning and figure out what I'm gonna cook and I go to the grocery store and I buy it. I would have marinated these last night. But since we're not doing that, we're going to do a couple things here. We're gonna let them marinate for an hour, but I'm gonna help the marinade process along. Now you could definitely put these overnight. Really, you wanna do 2 to 4 hours, but longer is always better with chicken. Chicken seems to take a long time to suck up the flavor if you're trying to get a lot of flavor into it. Put that down there. We'll open up these guys as well. And these are just organic, air-chilled party wings. They're pre-cut. We'll just dump these on the tray as well. I'm just trying to keep a little bit of the moisture in the container. We'll have enough moisture in our marinade. But what we're gonna do here, because we don't have a long time to marinate, I'm just gonna kind of slice into them a little bit. That'll just help allow some of that marinade to penetrate in there. I'm not gonna go crazy with it. All right, just a couple cuts. I just want to let that marinade get in there a little bit more. We're going to do one other trick once I get these done, and I'll show you what we're going to do there. And this, just so you're aware, is about 3 pounds of wings. The other thing this will do is, as these guys crisp up from that extreme heat, the edges will kind of, I don't even think that counts as a wing. The other thing that'll happen when we're cutting here is as these crisp up from the extreme heat of our pizza oven, it'll give us a little bit more texture on the skin. Now what we're gonna do, since we don't have a lot of time to marinate, I'm gonna vacuum seal these guys. That'll just help suck in a little bit of our marinade. I'm gonna let them sit in the bag for about 30 minutes, just as they sit. And then what I'll do is I will vacuum seal them to suck that in a little deeper. And we're just going to give this a nice good coating. I'm going to save myself not quite quarter of a bottle, just in case I decide I want to put some on at the end. But this will give this a chance to nicely coat everything in here. And like I said, what we're going to do is we're going to put this just like this in the fridge for about 30 minutes, give a good coating, and then I'm gonna vacuum seal it, suck in some more of that marinade. I'll bring you back and we'll fire up the pizza oven. Been about 45 minutes. Let's build our fire. And what I have here is some larger pieces we're gonna put on the bottom. And then we're gonna put some thinner on top. We even got some really thin stuff as well. And what I'm doing here is I'm building the fire in the back, right? We want, as this fires up, we don't want our flames coming over the front. And because I've got one really skinny piece, I'll just put that in the middle there. And that should be enough to get us going. Gonna use my grill gun. That'll be enough to get us going. And now you can start to see our flame is starting to get tall. The fire's burning well. I got a couple really thin ones right here I'm going to throw in the middle. Just like that. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to throw this on. And I'm just going to turn it on an angle. We've got about an inch here. And that's just going to make sure our flames stay inside. We're going to give this a few minutes. As this starts to burn down, we'll start to add some larger pieces. So here we are, 15 minutes after we started up. You can see our fire has settled down nicely. We are sitting about 850 degrees right now. My back's getting hot, let me tell you. The one thing I'll tell you, used a little bit too much wood. Didn't need that much. Start with a little bit of a smaller fire. I probably used, I don't know, 25, 30% too much wood. I have not added any wood at all, and so I kept it shut until the flames died down enough, but it was getting quite hot inside. So once the flames died down enough, I just pulled the door off to help let some of that heat out. But what you want to do is you want to start with a little bit of a smaller fire. My first pizza oven, if you got a pizza oven, comment down below if you got some tips. This is just like my offset rookie. No practice runs. I'm sharing with you as I learn how to use it. And it was my first lesson. So what we're going to do now is we've got this nice and hot. I'm looking to cook around 600 degrees or so today. So we're going to let this come down a little bit. What I am going to do now is I'm going to take my ash tool here and just pull this off to the one side. I'm going to push this back there. This is why you want the super long tools. And I'm just going to take my brush and brush that all over. And we'll keep an eye on that. I'll wait till we get to about 600 degrees and then I'll bring out and we'll start that chicken. Been about another 5 minutes. We're sitting at 650. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our cast iron pan here, 9x13 high-walled pan. This is where we're going to cook our wings in. So what we're going to do is we're going to stick this in to preheat it. As you can see, our fire has died down a fair amount, so I'm going to get out my welding gloves here, which I'll need to move around that pan. And I'm going to get a little bit of a thicker piece and just throw that on top. And we're going to throw this in to get it preheated. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep some heat in here while we preheat that, and I'm just going to keep it open a couple inches on this one side. And then what I'll do is we'll go get the wings, I'll bring them out, and we'll put them in the oven. So it's only been a couple minutes here. We are nicely preheated. Our pan is reading 440 in there, so we're good and hot. Temp's reading about 650, so we're right where we want to be. And the one thing I didn't explain about these guys, so I put them in the fridge for 30 minutes. There's some oil in here, so that just thickened up a little bit, so when I vac sealed it, I made sure all the marinade stayed where it was supposed to and not all over my chamber vac. Hold up. I don't want all my juice in here. I'm gonna get some tongs. Yeah, I don't want to dump all the marinade in here, so I just ran to get some tongs real quick. A little bit's gonna be fine, I just don't need a bunch. And it sounds like I'm making fajitas. All right, so now we've got these guys. What I'm trying to do is get them all even, so we'll get some even cooking. And the target here really is, we want to get this nice and warm. but I'm going to keep them away from the fire. So the plan of attack here is what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to keep them away from the fire. I'm going to keep the temperature up around 600, 650. I'm going to let them go for 15 minutes or so. And then as we get near the done stage, I don't know how long it's going to take yet. I'll figure that out and I'll let you know. But then I'll start to add some more wood so that we can get some of that flame coming over the top. What I do not want to do is have a whole bunch of flames over the top now and get the outside burnt and the inside raw. So a little experimentation. I'll keep you posted. We're 10 minutes in. I can see my oven's coming down in temperature a little bit, so I want to add a little bit more wood. But it's perfect time to give these a stir just to make sure we're not sticking to the bottom. We're already getting a little bit of crisp in here. Smells absolutely delicious. And they're not really sticking to the bottom that much. But you can see we're starting to get some color even without a flame at all. Let me stick another piece of wood in here real quick. And the one thing, since we're here, and these things are showing as done. 190. Huh. Well, that's interesting. These ones, oh, there we go. We're down a little bit. Just a couple of them. Yeah. 150 in the bigger ones. There's a couple that were near the bottom that got cooked up, so they're close though. Got me worried there. I need to get a little bit of color on these guys. So if that's the case, what we're going to do here is we're actually going to add another little real thin piece here. And as you can see, the flame's getting bigger. So I'm going to give this flame just a couple minutes here. So what you can see here now is our flame's starting to get bigger and touch the top. We're going to let that go for maybe another minute or two. And then I'll throw this back in a little closer so we can start to get some fire on the top and just get some crunch on those skin. But it's not going to take long. So minute and a half. Our flame is where we want it. We're going to put the wings back in. I'm going to put them more in the middle so we're a little closer to the fire. And we got some flame rolling over the top. Won't be long. They're really sizzling now, getting a lot of great color there. Give them a quick just want to get the other sides of these a little bit. In hindsight, I should not have had as much marinade in here. That's all right. Probably only another minute the way these are cooking. And just like that, these guys are done. What I'm going to do here is, I think they're going to be hot enough that if I get them out of the liquid here, we'll get a little bit more crunch. So now what we'll do is we will let these guys cool off for a minute or two. So here we are. They look delicious, they smell delicious. Let me tell you, while they're cooking, the smell of that marinade and the fire was pretty darn wonderful. Got some good flavor to them. I can tell that they're a little bit overdone, but not well done. They're still juicy. They could just be a little bit more juicier. The one thing I learned, well, I learned a couple things. Let me go over them with you here. Number one, these new barbecue shirts that I got, they are super thick. That's part of the reason why they're $23.99. I wanted something that lasted for a long time. But because they're so thick, I didn't give myself very much room here. I'm sweating. So next time, I will not stand so close to the front of my pizza oven. Number two, we learned about the fire, right? I started the fire with a little bit too much wood, so I would, maybe cut that down by a third and let it start a little slower. Great lesson there. The other thing that we learned is that these cook quicker than I thought. Like I knew, pizza cooks quick, everything cooks quick, but I wasn't sure how quick these were going to cook, and I was really concerned that I was going to get the outside browned and the inside be raw. That's not the case. They were pretty much done before we started browning them up. These are probably 195. They're a little higher than I want. Wings can go up to 175, 185 and still be good, but we went a little bit beyond. We'll correct that next time. The last thing I learned really is that it does take a little bit of time for the fire to start burning and to come across the top. And then once it goes hot and it starts getting up there quickly. So to get the effect that I wanted, I should have started about 10 minutes sooner to allow for that carryover time to come up and have the flames kiss these more. For our first attempt, they're pretty good. I'm happy with them. The flavor's there. The one thing I might do is just add a little bit of salt before I put them in the oven. After I take them out of the marinade, put a little bit of salt on them. The flavor's good, marinade's good. Now we were only in there for an hour. You really want to do 2 to 4 hours or overnight. 2 hours minimum, but we're a little rushed for time today, so they would have had a little bit more flavor there. But overall, I'm happy with them. Great first official cook. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed yet, please do so below. We'll be doing lots more on the channel. Pizza Oven will be making more appearances, and so will everything else. I'll see you soon.